everyone! Welcome to the world of musical saw. I'm going to show you how to use a hand saw as a musical instrument. The sound of a saw has a wonderful eerie singing quality, and playing something from your tool shed is a very unique way to make music. Let's get started. First, have a seat. Most saw players play sitting down. Pick up your saw and hold it with the handle between your knees or just behind your knees, whichever is most comfortable for you. The teeth on the blade should be facing you, so be careful. Just in case, you can put tape on the teeth where it hits your leg. Next, put your hand on the end of the saw. It doesn't matter which hand. Saw is a folk instrument, and you won't get in anybody's way around the campfire if you use your right hand to bend it instead of your left. I am right-handed, and I'm going to use my left hand to bend the saw. Curl your fingers over the end of the saw and press your thumb into the flat side while you pull with your fingers, like this. You can also put tape on the other end of the saw up by where your fingers go. Pushing your thumb into the saw should push the middle of the saw away from you, and pulling with your fingers should pull the end of it towards you. Now, if you're still holding the handle with your legs, the saw should be in the shape of a letter S. Let's review. Hold the saw between your legs with the teeth facing you. Pull towards you on the end of the saw with your fingers and push with your thumb. Now the saw is in the shape of an S. Now that you've got that part down, it's time to make some music. Pick up your mallet. As listed in the description, pretty much anything rubber with a handle will do, including the rubber handle of a screwdriver. That's what I use to keep with the toolbox theme. Bend your saw into the S shape and hit it with the mallet. It's that simple. If the saw is in the right shape and made of quality steel, it should ring nicely. In fact, carpenters used to use this method to test the quality of the steel in a saw. If you hit the saw in the flat part between the two curves in the S, it will ring longer than if you hit it anywhere else. Now, we want to be able to change notes, right? Simply bend it more for higher notes and less for lower notes. It's possible to play tunes like this with the mallet. I'll show you Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now this is all very exciting, but you might know that most people play the saw with a bow. Let me show you how to do that. Pick up your bow and take a look at it. There are a couple of things you need to know about it. Your hand goes at the end with the boxy part. This is called the frog. The other end is called the tip. Point the tip at the ground. Most saw players hold the bow with their hands facing this way. However, you may choose to hold the bow with your hand facing this way. If you've ever played a stringed instrument, you will probably try to hold it this way because that's what you're used to. I recommend against that since it's more uncomfortable for your wrist. I hold the bow with my palm facing the saw. Now, it's a little trickier to get a sound out of the saw with a bow. Let's make sure we've got a good S shape to the saw. You will have to bow the flat part in the middle of the S between the two curves, like this. If you bow anywhere else, it won't work as well, or maybe not at all. So if you tried this and it didn't work, and you're sure your saw is in a good S shape, try holding the saw in one place and bowing in different places along the edge of the saw until you find the spot where it will make noise. Now, here's the bad news. Because there's only one good place to bow, and the shape of the saw changes with each note, that means that where you bow is different for each note. The lower the note, the closer to the handle, and vice versa. So, using the bow, playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star will look and sound like this. Congratulations! You are on your way to playing the saw.